Hey guys, this is Commander Matthew, and before we start this episode of TREKBACK Tuesday, I want to tell you about my Star Trek podcast. Trek Untold is a weekly interview series where we chat with character actors, stunt performers, writers, directors, and behind-the-scenes people who make the Star Trek universe go at warp speed. Our show is about putting the spotlight on folks who aren't normally in the spotlight. It's about the people who have contributed to Star Trek but aren't in the opening credits of the show. You might not know their names or recognize their faces at first, but I guarantee after you hear our discussions with them, you're going to never forget them again. If you're a fan of not only Star Trek history, but also cinema and television, as well as the entertainment industry and all sorts of other things, you're going to really enjoy hearing this podcast. We're not just discussing appearances on TV shows with these actors, we're discussing acting theory, or we're talking to prop makers and behind-the-scenes crew and discussing how things work that we don't ever see on camera. Each episode is a deep dive into the profession of what these folks do, and you're going to really enjoy hearing their stories. You can check it out on whatever Apple device you're using, whether it's a phone or a pad, or you can listen to it on your favorite Android device. If you want to learn more about Trek Untold, make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And it's available on most major podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and many more. Check us out this coming Thursday for our latest episode, and until then, fortune favors the bold.
Hi, I'm Captain Andrea.
I'm Commander Matthew.
And welcome to TREKBACK Tuesday.
This is the show that explores time and space to seek out new and old Star Trek merchandise from across the galaxy.
Today, we're continuing our look at the Playmates Voyager figures. Commander Matthew, why don't you beam in who we're looking at?
Hi, Captain. Crewman on the bridge, Captain.
Lieutenant Carey.
Lieutenant Carey.
Lieutenant Carey.
Lieutenant Carey.
There's not much to say about him other than Lieutenant Carey.
Lieutenant Carey.
Otherwise known as a Starfleet officer who was in competition with B'Elanna for the position of Chief Engineer.
At the very beginning of Voyager, Season 1. Back when he still had an actual role in the series.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be, of course, much later on that he would reappear in the show.
Yeah.
Basically just to go bye-bye.
Yeah.
Actually, he got the trip treatment.
Yeah, he really did. But I actually liked him and B'Elanna playing off of each other. I thought it was a really great dynamic. I thought it was a great way to show the two opposing sides. So he served a purpose.
To die.
In Season 1, he served
right.
purpose. And then when he came back, he served another purpose.
Yeah.
Hey, how many of the officers can you say, how many of the not important officers and characters can you say had more than one purpose?
Seska.
She was semi-important.
She'll be for another day.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, of the minor players, at least he got to have a little bit of something to do.
He did. It seems like he was meant to have a bigger role, and then they just kind of forgot about him.
Yeah, it was a weird thing.
They gave him the Sister Judy treatment from Family Matters.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, no, because Sister Judy never came back.
She never came back down.
He at least came back.
So the front of the packaging is the same as all of our Voyager figures, but we should add, this is not Series 1. This is the continuation of the Voyager line. Unlike Deep Space Nine, who got some sporadic figures, Voyager actually did get a proper second series.
Yeah.
So this is part of it here. But again, it's all the same stuff as we saw previously. We get the trading card, we get the peek at his accessories. Really, the main differences are on the back.
Yes, on the back you can see what the second wave is. You see the first wave and you see the second wave. You see what the accessories are, and you see his bio, which sadly puts a little bit of foreshadowing in there by saying he has a wife and young kids, and he doesn't want them to grow up without a father.
I mean, I think it's unintentional foreshadowing.
Yes.
Pretty sure it is. It wasn't meant to be, but...
Oh, I'm sure, but at the same time, you write something like that, and, you know he's done for.
Yeah.
You know he's not making it home. There were only two ways that it could have gone, and since he wasn't a featured player, he wasn't making it. He got the red shirt treatment. Well, I guess we should be nice. Commander Matthew, please beam him out.
Hi, Captain. Lieutenant Carey is on the deck, Captain.
Thank you, Commander. So let's take a look at Carey.
First things first, does this look like the actor who played him?
Yes, I think he does. I would say that this is a very good likeness to Josh Clark.
And for comparison, we have that Skybox trading card that comes with the toy. And yeah, basically, it's a very younger version of him, I'll say that much, because there's a lot more lines on his face, at least in this trading card. But I remember him looking a little bit older, a little bit more haggard.
Yeah.
This definitely looks a little bit more younger, energetic.
He does have forehead lines, though, which I very much like.
It does capture the essence of Lieutenant Carey, I'll give him that much, so that's not so bad. Yeah, I actually think it's all right. It's not one of the greatest, not one of the strongest, but it's decent enough.
No, it's absolutely decent. It's definitely passable.
And we should add that the back of the trading card tells us what his personal interest is, which is engineering. because Lieutenant Carey was that boring that all he cared about was engineering.
The bio on the back of the box was way more detailed and made him sound like an actual person as opposed to this card.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty short bio. He's only got 2 sentences, which is
fine.
Normally we've actually found the trading cards to be pretty decent in how they put things together. This one,
the Voyager ones have been a little meh.
Yeah, this one in particular is extra meh, exceptionally meh. But hey, he's got a nice head sculpt. I'll give him that much.
Yes.
In terms of articulation, Lieutenant Carey has the standard articulation for Playmates figures of this era, which includes the head that goes left and right. Ouch! It was giving him a chiropractic session.
Oof. His spine is all good now.
Shoulders go up and down. He got the bicep swivel and a bendy elbow. Our waist turns. Ouch. Got ourselves a nice V-hinge there, which gets us into that great position. And he has the thigh swivel, bendable knees. So you can just 23 skidoo. The paint job is also fairly standard. Just the one difference is our particular Carey figure, he's got a lot of schmutz on him that I normally I don't really pick over these things as much, but that's a pretty big drizzle.
And that's not related to age in the box.
No,
that's straight up stain.
He's also got a little tiny stain on his shoulder that might come off, but this stain, that's not gonna come off as easily, if at all.
No.
So that's a little bit of a disappointment, which sucks because the paint job on his face is actually really good.
Yeah, no, they did a really good job with him. Okay, let's talk accessories. So first he comes with the standard Starfleet insignia stand and his name.
Let's go ahead and put Carey on his base. There we go.
Okay. Next up, he has his phaser with a little beam.
It's a little shiny pew-pew. See if we can get that into a hand. There we go.
He has his pad.
You've seen this accessory in a bunch of other figures also.
I'm gonna have to pull the card out for this. He comes with his engineering diagnostic warp systems performance monitor. That's really tiny for a monitor.
Yeah, I'm like trying to figure out how they monitor. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Star
Trek
it's a diagnostic, so they hold it up and it reads, and then you got to print out and all that other stuff.
Does the science things.
Yeah, but now he comes with the most interesting of them all, the test cylinder. It's a varietal molecular matrix of most known compounds.
So this comes from, I think, another early episode of Voyager where they run into that Romulan ship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his name was Telek Ramor. And they're like communicating back and forth with him. And he's like, oh, I'll help you guys. And they send test cylinders back and forth. That doesn't end so well, of course. But yeah, this test cylinder is very interesting shape and color.
This looks filthy.
Yeah.
Filthy.
Yeah.
There is no other way to put it. This is dirty, dirty, dirty. Lieutenant Carey, you dirty birdie.
I mean, they're spending a lot of time in the Delta Quadrant away from people.
Oh, I know. Don't get me wrong. I understand why. They've made their own special kinds of test cylinders.
So say Lieutenant Carey was exploring some things while he was in space.
Well, what else was he going to do? His wife wasn't around.
No, she was not.
And he seemed like a faithful man.
Yeah. And this isn't the first time we've seen a dirty, dirty accessory come with these toys either.
Oh, yeah, we've totally seen
What is up with the Voyager toys and this kind of stuff?
They were very lonely out there. That's all I can think of. I mean, maybe because it was in a different quadrant that no one had explored before, so what's dirty to us is simple and completely innocent to them.
Whatever floats their starship. Now let's go ahead and add Lieutenant Carey, along with the rest of the crew who's already on board the Voyager bridge. Okay. So that's our look at Lieutenant Joe Carey. We use the word standard a lot in this video because it is a fairly standard figure.
Yeah.
Nothing that really rocks the boat here. It's got a decent head sculpt, but nothing that's like, wow.
Yeah, there's nothing too exciting about him.
No, but it's nice that you have him, and it helps kind of fill out the crew a little bit more.
Yes. Now, if only they had come out with a Vorik.
There's a lot of other crew members that could have done. I mean, they did make a Seska in her Starfleet outfit.
Yeah, but she actually mattered to storyline in a different way.
She got 2 figures. In fact, she got another one later on. Yeah, they could have made Vorik. They could have made Brad Dourif's character. He was around for a while as well. Yeah. There's a few other folks they could have done, but they didn't. And this was kind of the last hurrah of Voyager in this scale also.
Very true. Very true.
So at least we got him.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's not bad. If you need to fill out your roster.
It's not great. It's just middle of the road.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm Captain Andrea.
I'm Commander Matthew.
And this has been TREKBACK Tuesday. Come join us next week. And until then, live long and buy toys.